Good day, I'm Maria Janela C. Lorique, one of the member of group Hummingbirds. I, together with my group mates named Laura Jose Emanuel, Galang Harold, Martinez Edric John, Salmarin Eman, and Serrano Sembred, will discuss the information we gathered. What is e-commerce? How does it differ from e-business? Where does it intersect with e-business? E-commerce is the practice of buying and selling products and services online. Customers use electronic payments to make purchases from the website or online store. The merchant sends the products or renders the service after receiving the payment. The term e-commerce refers to businesses and individuals that purchase and resell goods and services online. E-commerce can be done on computers, tablets, cell phones, and other smart devices, and it operates in a variety of market categories. E-commerce transactions make almost every good or services conceivable accessible, including books, music, airline tickets, and financial services like stock trading and online banking. It is seen as a very disruptive technology as a result. By offering less expensive and more effective distribution channels for their goods or services, e-commerce has assisted firms, especially those with a limited market reach like small businesses, in expanding their reach and establishing a stronger market presence. Target added an online store to complement its physical locations, enabling customers to buy anything from action figures and toothpaste to clothing and coffee makers from the comfort of their homes. One potential component of an online business is e-commerce. Any company that uses internet technologies as part of its business model is considered an e-business. A real store using social media marketing to attract more consumers may be one example of it. An organization that offers an online system for making financial transactions is referred to as an e-commerce business, whereas any organization that incorporates online technology into its operations is referred to as an e-business. The customer who is given the ability to make purchases online is the primary gainer from e-commerce. On the other side, a consumer as well as business partners, suppliers, and so forth can be the primary beneficiary of an e-enterprise. The internet is the only place where e-commerce is carried out. E-business can be carried out online inside a company or outside it. The fundamental distinction is that an entity can be classified as an e-business even if it just employs internet technology internally. Is information asymmetry. Asymmetric information, commonly referred to as information failure, is when one party to an economic transaction has more in-depth knowledge of the relevant subject matter than the other party. This often occurs when the seller of a good or service has more expertise than the buyer, but the dynamic can also work in reverse. Information asymmetries are present in almost all economic transactions. When one party to a transaction has access to more information than the other, this situation is referred to as having asymmetric information, because there is asymmetry of information in some transactions where the vendor knows more about the good being sold than the buyer. Sellers may exploit purchasers. The opposite is also sometimes true. In terms of skilled labor, asymmetric information is viewed as a desirable result of a robust market economy, where employees specialize in one trade become more productive and add more value to workers in other crafts. Certain transactions involving a seller and a buyer have asymmetric information, which allows one party to exploit the other. This frequently occurs when an item is sold. For instance, a homeowner who wanted to sell their home would know more about it than the prospective buyer. They may be aware of issues the buyer would not discover until after buying the house, such as squeaky floors, excessive winter cold, or loud neighbors. Therefore, if the buyer had known this information beforehand, they might have felt they overpaid for the house or would not have bought it at all. A mismatch in the understanding of important facts and specifics between the two negotiating sides is known as information asymmetry. The side with more the side with more information typically has a competitive edge over the opposing party due to this imbalance. The study of how two parties come to an agreement despite unknown elements and uneven knowledge is known as game theory. Information asymmetry is applicable to various sorts of negotiations and especially important to the related contact theory.
Hi, my name is Shammer Serrano and my student number is 210197. What are some of the unique features of e-commerce to technology? Its unique features is about networking business. When we say internet, there are many examples of this. An example is online learning, business, online, and then also etc. Maybe most of us are still online because we had a pandemic. So the internet is a big help for all of us. And this is where the online business comes in. E-commerce is about networking business. E-commerce, electronic commerce, is the buying and selling of goods and service, or the transmitting of funds of data over an electronic network, primarily the internet. The person has the communication for purchasing the item using the internet. There is business to transaction occur either as business to business, business to customer, customer to customer, or customer to business. Many prepare to use online to do business for easy transactions. When it comes to purchasing, almost everyone now just sticks to the internet because it's easier.
Hello, I'm Emmanuel F. Salmorin. My ID student number is 210-1713. What is marketplace? Marketplace is a virtual selling space. Especially this speaks of the online location where a company that advertises offers for sale its goods. This might include the single website or collection of online places such as blogs and networkings and blogging sites, e-commerce platforms, etc. like Twitter, eBay, Quaker, Myntra, Etsy, Alibaba, Amazon, and so on.
Good day everyone, I'm Edric Chan Katindig Martinez. So the question number 5 is, what are 3 benefits of universal standards? So first is reduce search cost for consumers. Search cost is the time, energy, and money expended by buyers and sellers in trying to find one another in order to engage in transactions. Search costs include the opportunity cost of the time and effort spent on searching plus and any explicit cost of money or scarce resources expended in searching. Second is become simpler, faster, with more accurate price discovery. Price discovery is the process of setting the spot price, but most commonly the proper price for a security, commodity, or currency. Price discovery is the means through which an asset's price is set by matching buyers and sellers according to a price that both sides finds acceptable. It is largely driven by supply and demand. It is a useful mechanism to gauge whether an asset is currently overbought or oversold. Third is lower market and entry costs for merchants. Market with low entry barriers have many players and thus low profit margins. Market with high exit barriers are unstable and not self-regulated, so the profit margins fluctuate very much over time. Markets with a low exit barrier are stable and self-regulated, so the profit margins do not fluctuate much over time.
Hello, my name is Harold Galang. For question number 6, compare traditional and e-commerce in terms of richness. The comparison between online and traditional transaction in terms of richness is the efficiency and quality of online transaction and traditional transaction or transaction in person. What is online transaction or e-commerce? E-commerce in the popular sense can define as the use of the internet and the web to conduct business transactions. A more technical definition would be e-commerce involves digitally enabled commercial transaction between and among organizations and individuals. So, for comparison, is that what contributes to the business industry with its own way of interaction through consumers or company. Traditional transaction can provide more richness in terms of face-to-face service including visual oral cues. However, traditional transactions are limited in terms of how people can be reached at a single time. Online transactions, which can be global in reach, can provide content that is both complex and rich, overcoming the traditional trade-off between rich and richness according to a blog by Shikadip 2021. There is pros and cons for each of those traditional and electronic transactions for business like for example using internet. Using internet, it introduced easier transaction in businesses like far easier and very accessible, more efficient, very informative in its own way like commercialized website or online shopping advertisement to gain more people, and it's also easier to bring documents online through digitalized documents and signature for a quicker process of transaction in a business. However, using internet can also bring limitation and it can affect the business owner or the company's business. Whole management such as bandwidth, quality of service, network architecture, and language development. Management must have further innovation and deeper understanding when using internet for their businesses. It is more different than the traditional, but also traditional have pros and cons to look out so the management can catch up to modernized way of doing business.
Hi, I'm Jose Manuel O. Alora, and my student number is 1904221. Number 7. Name 3 of the business consequences that can result from growth in information density. 1. Transparency. And 2. Price discrimination. Number 3. Cost, cost transparency. Number 1. Price transparency refers to the extent to which information about the bid prices. If the information proves to be insufficient or inaccessible, the specific market may be deemed inefficient. 2. Price discrimination is a selling strategy that charges customer different prices for the same product or service based on what the seller thinks they can get the customer to agree to. Number 3. Cost transparency. When a company sets a price for a product, shoppers typically have no idea what it costs to produce that item. But it turns out that the customer reward efforts to lay out these figures to deconstruct the price tag. That's all po. Thank you.